Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Welcome to Atomo Wednesday, February 15th. And there's a day after Valentine's Day, and our global overlords are sending us lots of love. And let's see what they have in store for us. The the sexy, hot, and steamy. There we go. Sexy, hot, and steamy. There you go. Look at that. Look at this hunk of globalist love here.
Artificial
Let me
intelligence by itself.
rewind.
And
All
we are
right,
just
slow down
beginning.
there, Klaus. Slow down there, Klaus. Slow down there, Klaus. I'll rewind him. Well, let's spend 40 seconds listening to old King Cotton Schwab Slaus, the Q-tip himself.
And we are just now where we move into the exponential phase. And I agree. Artificial intelligence, but not only artificial intelligence, but also.
Okay, well, so he talks about this. I'll just pause him. He talks about this exponential uplift, and the World Economic Forum and the philosophy of these people is it's not that the fourth industrial revolution is a digital revolution. So when we go from the industrial revolutions in time, moving through from farming to machinery to modern management practices like lean and stuff, and kind of the third industrial revolution, and the fourth industrial revolution is bringing digital into play. What the World Economic Forum does is they talk about transhumanism, the actual recombining our or like synthetic people, completely out of something like if you ever play a video game called Mass Effect, one of the endings where you can like create synthetic people. Um, so that kind of science fiction-ish style thing. But it's not completely without merit at this point. There's technologies, things like CRISPR being able to change our DNA, and we've seen certain therapeutics out there with mRNA in it, able to change the ways that our proteins link together. It reminds me of Kirkazat had a good video that just came out, and they talked about proteins and basically proteins as Lego building blocks in the body, which we can potentially manipulate. Since we know the protein alphabet, it's just getting computer models and with potential help from AI systems to be able to recombine proteins and create new types of protein machines that could potentially update our cells as humans. So that's their version of the fourth industrial revolution. And I'll continue with King Cotton Schwab here. Or at least we'll try to.
But also.
All right, let me figure out what's going on here.
Near space technologies. And I could go on and on. Synthetic biology. Our life in 10 years from now will be completely.
Okay, yeah, and there's another one. You said synthetic biology. So he said it. You heard it right there at this World Government Summit. I think that was happening in Dubai. Okay, let's keep going here.
Different, very much affected, and who masters those technologies in some way will be the master of the world. And we are just.
All right, let's put King Kong Q-tip Cotton Schwab away. So there it is. He said it. It's basically whoever controls these technologies, he who controls the spice controls the universe. So if they're able to build this type of like an AI with synthetic biology, and And I'm also looking at Elon Musk. And here's one of the things that he wants to do. If you go to, let me stop the screen share for a moment and I'll pick this one up. So just a moment here. Okay, so here I'll bring this up for us. Okay. There's an article here I'll put into the notes in the description. There's a really good article where Tim Urban here talks about why Neuralink is very important. It is an extremely long article, but it's well worth the foray into this article. So he pulls a bit about Elon Musk's company formula. Basically, here's a starting point. We got a business model that's already in sustainment. Then there's an innovative jump, ignites a new industry, and there's a reason for that innovation. The result of the goal is the big one. So, yeah, Tesla, reduce risk of environmental or economic catastrophe versus the advent of a sustainable energy, world that happens sooner. Because hey, it's back in that green thing. If we do this green car stuff, then we can save the world. Okay. Like this one here, result of the goal for SpaceX, life insurance for the species. Elon Musk, this is his reason to be. He wants to see human life exist, and in order like continually past whatever junk that we throw at ourselves. And this article was written in 2017, and we've known there's a lot of things that can be quite existential that have been coming up. Hey, we're not glowing yet in mushroom clouds, but with the disaster that just happened in Ohio, it just shows you how not saying that that's going to take out us as a complete species, as a train derailment, but the impact of that and showing how fragile, with a little bit of safety going into the wayside and how much damage that's causing. We got enough technology, we can create a whole bunch of problems for ourselves. So yeah, life insurance for the species, reduce existential risk, increased chance of good future. Look at this, increased chance of good future. Why Neuralink? Well, and let me see if I could zip this up a bit forward and faster and have them fill in the block so I don't have to send you through all this. Basically, let's keep going. All right. Yeah, so they talk about isolated brains in the part, and this is why the AI is becoming increasingly important, because the AI can take this basic constitution of human understanding, which basically the internet's just a huge encyclopedia now, and it's all connected. Now, if the AI can talk to AI across this connection, because the machines can talk to machines, they can talk to machines very quickly. So if different AIs get placed into play and they can actually learn and adapt to each other and start to, I'm just going to scroll through this article while I keep zipping through for, okay, here's where he starts to get into kind of the human colossus of the collective of all the information that we have. And essentially what we want is, well, why do we want widespread human AI integration? So the conspiracy theorists or the worriers would say, oh, the global government's going to take us all over. Well, you saw King Cotton Q-Tip there say his thing. If he and his people get that technology, then you know that, well, he's going to get exactly what he wants. He wants to be king of the world. Um, how do you do that? Well, then you have humans that are by a human AI integration. You want what Elon wants is you want to be able to tame the UI or the AI, sorry. You want to be able to tame the AI. And think of a type of human that's well versed with using a brain to machine interface that's almost like in science fiction, like some sort of psyop warrior. I don't think we're going too crazy on that tangent. Now we're seeing these, Chat GPT and these other AI bots come into play. That if I could talk to that AI in real time without typing stuff into a computer, the amount of information I have available to me at any one time, just think about what you can do at a moment's notice and actually be able to input things into that AI, and at the same time use your kind of human ingenuity that the AI can't use and be able to discern whether, okay, is the AI giving me some good information here or not? And if I could, train my type of AI and have a group of people I know are working on the positive side of building that AI. Well, as I say that, then there's people that will take an instance of an AI program. Now I have to think about the matrix here, where someone's going to create Agent Smiths, and other people are going to have Oracles and Neos as their type of AIs. And will these AIs play well with each other? Will they go into a metaverse and start, attacking and destroying each other? I don't know what the type of humans that actually get this interface and learn how to use it and use it well. Think about the diplomats that you can have where they got access to all the information. They can call BS and misinformation on all kinds of stuff, or actually build models so fast that, think about a battlefield commander with an AI enhancement as a resolving the chaos of the battlefield and able to put cohesion together faster than any other commander on the battlefield. That is a scary thing. That's frighteningly scary. I can take all that information and put it together. So this is a phenomenally great article. I'm sorry for just zipping through it up and down like this because it's just so big. And there's certain areas in it that have some pretty interesting concepts that they bring up, especially when they talk about the human colossus and the amount of information that we have built as a civilization. I'm just zipping through here. Yeah, and there's this, yeah, there's all this. Yeah, in the 90s, we taught millions of isolated machine brains how to communicate with one another. They formed a worldwide computer network. New giant was born, the computer colossus. So we went from all these disparate people. Now all of a sudden we built this huge encyclopedia. And once we connect an AI to that, and that AI can actually start updating that encyclopedia based on telemetry that's coming in. Yeah, that's going to be pretty. That's going to be a huge new revolution. So let's go to, what else did I have here? Yeah, here's the one with Elon talking about the.
I think we should.
Hold on there, Elon. Okay, let's take a couple minutes here with Elon. He's going to talk about centralized versus decentralized governments, and we'll take 2 minutes of your time here to go through this.
I know this is called the World Government Summit, but I think we should be maybe a little bit concerned about actually becoming too much of a single world government. If I may say, that we want to avoid creating a civilizational risk by having, frankly, this may sound a little odd, too much cooperation between governments. You know, if you look at, say, at history and the rise and fall of civilizations, really all throughout history, civilizations have risen and fallen, but it hasn't meant the doom of humanity as a whole, because there've been all these separate civilizations that were separated by great distances. And so, you know, say, like, while Rome was falling, Islam was rising, and so you had like you know, the sort of caliphate doing incredibly well, while Rome was doing terribly. And that actually ended up being a source of preservation of knowledge and many scientific advancements. And so, so I think we want to be a little bit cautious about being too much of a single civilization, because if we are too much of a single civilization, then if the whole thing may collapse. I'm obviously not suggesting war or anything like that, but I think we want to be a little bit wary of actually cooperating too much. It sounds a little odd, but we want to have some amount of civilizational diversity, such that if something does go wrong with some part of civilization, that the whole thing doesn't collapse, and you know, humanity keeps moving forward.
Okay, so there you heard it from Elon. So in general, we're looking at an AI revolution. We're seeing that happening right now. This is as predicted. Nothing out of the ordinary here. I was actually studying AI back in university, so that was a while ago. And now we have a talk about decentralizing and making sure that we don't get a one world government situation, because we're seeing, especially Canada and the open air penitentiaries like New Zealand and Australia, with very strict lockdowns during the pandemic. Yeah, that those ideas coming from these governmental organs that are, you know, global now, like the WHO, the IMF, the WEF, putting thought like a consultant group into these organizations so that a group of people can amass power at the top. Now, if you do that and they control the AI, then you're effectively looking at definitely new types of species, especially if I have a bio-modded human with a brain AI interface. That is going to be something remarkably new, and especially that breeding stock, because the moment you start playing with our proteins and that starts to get encoded, you're starting to create offshoot species. And I'm not myself, I'm not against that, but what potentially will happen in the future is it will be unethical to not take certain elements of people and kind of remove the defectual pieces. Now, because a thought of this is, if we want to be an interstellar species, we may need to build ourselves into a type of interstellar being that can last long enough to survive the long transits needed to get to new places. And there are potentially ways of doing that with, you know, telomere elongation or shortening, or keeping aspects like the thalamus that trains our immune system, keeping that thing up and running, or rebuilding it, and then reinvigorating bone marrow to create T cells, and then training those T cells appropriately through a kind of nano factory within your body that keeps the thalamus, which is an organ that decays over time, and and shuts down. And again, this is just conjecture on my part, that based off of what I'm reading, and I've seen stuff that's explaining this and where the science might go, that if we can keep our immune system developing T cells and being trained appropriately, because not all your T cells live, they get destroyed because they connect to receptors of proteins within your body that your body needs in order to function. That's why sometimes people have autoimmune disorders. And there's another thing that if I could train a certain new piece of biology to go and eliminate the bad immune cells within my body that are not behaving properly, without causing a catastrophic loss of my bodily function, then we're in a new realm of scientific advancement and new type of people. So that itself would be a miracle, but as we know, the ability for certain dark triad people that want to use this to their own nefarious bidding, well, then that's what we have to start looking out for and building our society infrastructures. And with that is, making sure that, we finally look at people as individuals and not through race lenses or anything like that. That's a great distraction, because there's going to be a new type of people that will be created, and it doesn't matter what skin color they're given, because that could be changed or altered. It's going to be what are the other modifications that are made. And well, let's just leave it at that. That's keep an eye on this. This is moving forward in the world. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.